came down from the sky. Caught in the dark and I don't know why. I crossed my heart that I didn't die. Stop living in fear for the rest of my life. Give me a switchblade in the morning. Give me a switchblade in the night. With my switchblade I'll take possession. Take back my life in the end. With my switchblade knife. Angels of mercy are flying round me, washing the blood from the blade still in me. It was cold, it was hard, it cut me like butter. My spirit it rose, pulled me up from the gutter. Give me a switchblade in the morning.
13 minutes past 8, Triple RFM, and we kicked off with Melbourne band Blue Stratos from their album Diamond Afterlife, and the track called The Dozens, one of the great tracks off that album, out through Off the Hip Records. Love that record. And of course, the album that I've loved a lot over the last few months, Clifford Hoad's Kings of the Sun, Rock Till You Die, and the track there, Switchblade Knife. And joining me in the studio, Clifford Hoad. Welcome in, mate. Nice to have you back in Melbourne.
Mate, I'm freezing. What's going on down here?
Should have come down about 3 weeks ago. We added up around the 44 mark, but I drove to work this morning and I think it was about 13 in the car. It hasn't been like that since last winter.
Well, I was fearing for my life this morning because hot, cold. It's not the best thing that a singer can put himself through, you know.
2 shows in Melbourne this weekend. It's great to see you back in Melbourne, because for you performing live in Melbourne, it's probably been a good number of years now.
The last time we were here was at the Palais with Sammy Hagar, and I think it was 98 or 99. That's the last time. And I actually was freezing, standing in the car park down there, and I'd never been so cold in my life.
Now let's just fill in the kind of history for those people who didn't hear the chat that we did when the album came out last year, back sort of September-ish, I think.
Yep.
Pretty much the band Kings of the Sun sort of stopped playing, as you said, around that period, and then you went off with your brother Jeff, and you based up on the Gold Coast, and you were working with the band The Rich and Famous, put out a number of albums, and then I think it was early last year or maybe 2 years ago now that you got the notion that you might step out from the drum kit and front Kings of the Sun. It's an amazing story. How did it all come about? What sudden light bulb moment came on that said, I want to reactivate Kings of the Sun and I'm going to step out the front and sing? And
well, if I think back about it, it come out of necessity, because I after The Rich and Famous, as you just said, I turned my back on my love of music and then realised after a few years how much I missed it and how much I loved, you know, writing songs and performing, and whether it was a midlife crisis or whatever, it was something that I had to face in myself, and for all the, you know, the reasons that we all come up with of why we can't, you know, continue with something, and the logistics of it all was going no, but my heart was going yes, and I had so much more music inside me, and it was almost like a renaissance of sorts, and it happened so naturally because I was dreaming. All of a sudden I was having these lucid dreams of playing again, and maybe it was like a, you know, subconscious thing to get back up there on stage, and I'd wake up in the morning and go, oh, I don't want to know about that. And then I started writing songs just on an acoustic guitar, and I was going to do of all things an acoustic solo sort of thing, just to do something different from the drumming. And then when I started writing the songs, I thought, if these were electrified, they'd actually sound really good. And my thirst, that's the word, my thirst for heavy rock, you know, came back, and I thought, well, I heard about the love of heavy rock in Europe more so, and Australia, and how so much of it had disappeared. And I thought, well, why? People still love it. Has it gone? So many great bands had broken up. And I thought, maybe, you know, if I get a great band together and write some songs, there'll be a market out there for it. And made that new album, and I was just so overwhelmed that people received it so receptively, and I got a kick out of the fact that I had to sing it. I had to step out from behind the drums. So I always sang the harmonies with the old band, and it wasn't really that hard for me to become a singer, because I was already a singer of sorts. But it was hard for me to see myself in that spot, and when my brother left off in such fine form. You know, it's like.
Well, the weird thing, Clifford, is that we were just talking over dinner over the road. I had the notion that the band had played live and that you'd road tested some of these songs, but you just told me that tomorrow night is actually the very first live gig for Clifford Hoad's Kings of the Sun. Not to put any pressure on it, but
that is my well, it'll be my live debut. It'll be the first time I've ever actually hopped out from behind the kit. And hecklers are all welcome. I welcome all the hecklers, and whatever a singer has to go through.
There must, I mean, in all seriousness though, thinking back over the journey that you've been on over the last 2 years, there must have been some moments where you thought there has to be a line or a bar that has to be reached to be able to do this, otherwise it's not going to happen. I mean, when you recorded the album and you sat back and you listened to it and you thought, yeah, that lives up to my expectations and what I wanted, because as we were talking over dinner, people who have been out of the music scene for some period of time and then come back, there is a danger that it can fall on its face and not be as good and sound watered down. You've gone completely the other direction. The record sounds amazing, the songs are great, the performance is great. So there must have obviously been some kind of expectation in your brain that had to kind of be reached before you went out and did this publicly and released the record.
Well, that's right, Neil. What actually happened was I've got an extensive record collection myself, and I've always, loved the first 1, 2, 3, maybe a fourth album, like in Zeppelin's case or something, of their best material. And so I'm very aware of an album that only has 1 or 2 good songs on it. So, I haven't really lost my critical edge of our material, and Kings of the Sun material, even in the past, the 3 albums that we did, or we did 4 actually, but the 3 albums that were released by BMG in America, all the songs, we went to extremes to have all the songs, we raised the bar to a certain level, and we had to, maybe from working with the great producers that we had, they made us aware of a standard that you've got to stay at, and it's a hard thing to teach anybody, but deep in your heart if something's really good or it's just okay. And unless you're feeling like you want to keep playing that song, and it moves you 3 weeks, 2 weeks, then you got something. So when I wrote those songs over a period of about 18 months, just sitting in the rocking chair with acoustic, 6 o'clock in the morning, all my stuff come when I get out of bed, and funnily enough, there's no drum kit or it was all done on acoustic guitar, and all the melodies and I'd write those words in a half an hour, so it all streamed through me. You got to be careful when that happens, because you can end up with something you think's great, ain't that great. But I was lucky that everything that was coming through came through so naturally and easily, and probably stuff that I'd stored up for 10 years. And I wish that I'd sung something like that, or Jeff and I had written something like that. We never had. So there was all these elements that I knew what it took to make a great record. A great rock record, and I thought, well, if anything, I know I can do that. I know I can make a great rock record. But we recorded it in 2 weeks, which is also a wonderful thing, because it's spontaneous. Even though the songs go a certain way, nothing got stale. Everything was immediate and refreshing, and didn't have time in the studio for anything to set in that was negative or. Yeah.
So you haven't entirely left, of course, the drum kit behind. I mean, the band that we're going to see this weekend has 2 kits on the stage, yours and Stefan's. So, interesting kind of process working with another drummer for you?
Well, it's the first time. Drummers don't usually get to play the drums, side by side as such. And of course, you wonder, drummers have different styles and different ways of, sitting in the zone. And I remember rang Angry Anderson up and he said, "You're playing with 2 drummers. You want to watch yourself. They've got to be really, really tight." And I sort of gulped and went, "Oh." because my timing's always been a bit erratic. You know, I get overexcited on stage, and luckily the drummer that I have recruited, Stefan von Berg from Melbourne, is solid as a rock. He's like I call him the human anvil. He's like Phil Rudd out of AC/DC. So I've got that, and then I've got my, over exuberant style. And but I'm, like in playing the last 4 days rehearsing, I hate to say it, but I'm really enjoying being out the front, and hearing just the drums but there's songs I feel like I got to go back and play, and I'll be doing those,
So who we'll talk about the gigs and the songs in a moment, but who else is on stage with you? Is Dave Talon down with you this time?
Yep, Dave came out all the way from Switzerland. He lives over there in Bern. He's married to a Swiss lady, and of course he's from the ex-band Rollerball, which was like a great 90s, early 2000s indie rock band. I would call them an indie rock band. They're an Aussie rock band. And he's come out here to play these 2 shows that we're doing down here. So he's come a long way. So if anyone is worried about, getting to the gigs, they should, because, he's made that effort. And we've got a fantastic young guitar player called Quentin Elliott, who played with the Kings in the early days, and he was only very young at that point. He was 16 or 17 when he did his first shows with us with Kiss. And he's an incredible electric guitar player. He's a classic electric guitar player, and a bass player friend of mine from Queensland, who's thank heavens I was able to find a bass player like McCartney that can sing great harmonies and vocals. So, which I need that support, because I gave my brother that support all those years. That it's a thankless job being a harmony singer, because the guy's out the front and he's sounding great, and you're helping him get those words across, those special lines, and that's what Darren's. And I really enjoyed singing the lower register and hearing him sing my old lines, which is I always used to sing the higher register like the Everly Brothers. So
you've given a kind of a hint. Obviously, you're going to be playing the bulk of the new album, but are you going to be digging back into the old Kings catalogue and playing a few old tunes as well?
Songs that I loved playing, which that's a bit of a surprise. What we will be playing some of the old set. And songs that were truly Jeff's songs, that I wouldn't dare take them on. There's certain songs like, I suppose, Be Sad for Some People, Black Leather and stuff like that. I can't see myself sort of prancing about the stage, like him without the hair and everything. But there's other songs that I think people will love to hear that we're going to do, yeah.
So those gigs, of course, for Clifford Hoad's Kings of the Sun, tomorrow night at the Espy in the front bar, which will be terrific. And then, of course, the big gig Saturday night at Cherry, which will be amazing. Couldn't
think of 2 better spots to play here in Melbourne. And as I said to you, at Liani's, the pizza shop across the road,
Iliana, yep.
Which I've got to say, I love vegetarian and pepperoni. And it was the best pizza I've had for a long, long time.
They do a great job over the road.
But yeah, we'll be on Friday night at the Espy and Saturday night at the Cherry Bar, which I've never played at before. And I don't think I've actually ever played at the Espy, because years ago we'd always end up playing at the Palais. And but last time I was down here and I stayed with Steph, and we went down and saw one of the Johnnies play at the Espy, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
So from these 2 gigs, where to from here, mate? What's sort of mapped out for the foreseeable future? I mean, the album, of course, is out now and is available, but where to? Are you going to be planning to be back at some point this year?
Well, for me, it's always been, will we be received as a new band? Not like it's obviously a completely different band than the original band. I'm the original member, the guy who started it, way back with Bob Spencer in the old days. And I'm holding the torch, and as I said to you before, I'm coming through, and I've recruited the best players that I could find in that genre to make the music come alive in that way. But I'd like to go up to Sydney and do a couple of shows. We haven't organised anything there. They said Sydney has changed so much, which is a bit disturbing. And then, of course, I've got a couple of shows in Brisbane that we're looking at doing, because I want to do this video thing. So if this goes well down here, I'll probably get a new level of confidence.
And you'll be back.
And one other thing is, which I've sort of probably put it at the back of my mind, we did win this band competition to play at the Sweden Rock Festival in June, which is, it's a long way off, but just around the corner. And I've said yes to that. So hopefully we can... And the guy said we'd love to have the band on, and it's over a period of 3 or 4 days, and he's put us on the 6th, which is like that morning before Black Sabbath and Ted Nugent and Foggett and Alice Cooper. So the outrageous company we're in. So I thought I have to go and give it a run. It's like God's given me a second chance. That's how I see it. And you have to take these opportunities when they come. Otherwise, you just regret it, I think.
Yeah, that's an amazing trip. So enjoy that. Mate, great to see you here in Melbourne. Finally, we've been talking about this for a long time. Enjoy the 2 gigs over the weekend. Of course, tomorrow night at the SB in the front bar, and then Saturday night at Cherry. Doors open, Cherry, at 8 o'clock, and you'll be on around about 10:15, I think, Saturday night. So terrific. And of course, the album is out, and and we'll of course hear another couple of tracks. But mate, good to see you. Thanks for coming in tonight. And
I must say, if it wasn't for you and Jeff and playing that song that first time, Switchblade Knife, it just captured the vibe that I hope people would have caught, and you guys caught it first, and I'll always be in debt to you for that, and I've just, it's been so overwhelming. That's why we decided to come to Melbourne to do those shows, because of all our old fans and even new people that have found the band. And I can't thank you enough for giving us the time on the radio and 3RRR. It's just, put you on my gravestone, I think.
Perhaps not quite that far, and not yet. But
a tattoo,
mate. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been great to have you here, and once again, congrats on the record. So looking forward to seeing you on the weekend. Clifford Hoad, of course. Yeah. Clifford Hoad's Kings of the Sun, and of course the album is entitled Rock Till You Die, and this is Fire on the Mountain. Thanks, mate.
Yeah. Thank you, Neil.
Fire on the Mountain from Clifford Hoad's Kings of the Sun. In town this weekend, as you've just heard, playing the Espy tomorrow night and Cherry on Saturday night. From the album Rock Till You Die, Fire on the Mountain. And we were speaking to Clifford Hoad.